Hello guys, what's up? How you all doing? Okay, this is me again, Tunji from Ceasar Graphics. Okay, in today's tutorial, I'm gonna be teaching you how to make spot posters like this, and let's just quickly jump right in. All right, so I have my already cropped image here for the players. So I have Mobi here already cropped. So this is the picture without the background, and I have Modric. All right, this is Modric without the background. Okay, so let's start with creating a new document. So to do that, I'm gonna go to File, New, and I'm gonna give this 900 by 900. Make this 300 resolution. Okay, so I'll call this spots or poster. So create. All right, so now let me quickly explain something here. Please, when you crop your image, don't take them out from the background. Just do the same thing I did here. So I'm just going to select the two layers by holding down Control on Windows, Command on Mac, and then Shift, select the other layer, and I'll drag and drop here. All right. Now, just in case your crop image is not a smart object, I would advise you do that. I would advise you convert it to a smart object. And how do you do that? By right-clicking and then say convert to smart objects, so as to not to lose the quality of the image when you're reducing and increasing the size. So I'm going to reduce this. Now hit Command T for Mac users and Control T on Windows. So I'll reduce it to about this size. Position here. I'll use it again. Alright, so let me bring in Modric. So this is Modric here. So I've already done the same thing. Shift select two layers, drag, and drop here. So hit Ctrl T or Command T on your keyboard to bring out the transform adjustment handles, and I'll position this here. This a little bit bigger. Alright. I'm trying to avoid not to make their leg too far from each other. I mean the level of their legs not to be too far from each other. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, so I'll hit enter. Alright, so let's put the 4 layers in a folder by shift clicking the new folder icon while the 4 layers are selected. So I have them in a folder now, and I'll call this players. So I'll duplicate it again by dragging and dropping on the new layer icon, and I'll call this, no, don't worry, let's just leave it like that, and I will collapse this, and I'm gonna merge it. So I'll go to layer. Now before we do that, I need to first rasterize the backgrounds. So I'll right click and say rasterize layer. I'll drag it down. Let me give my layer name. Let me give them their name. I'll call this Wobi. I'll call this Modric. Okay. So yes, I'll do the same thing for this by right clicking and I say rasterize layer. So I'll go to Modric first, go to the Modric layer, select my rectangle macro tool and draw a macro selection on one side of the layer, and I'll go to File, Edit, and I say continue to where scale, and I'll drag this into about this point. Nice. Okay. Now hit Ctrl D on my keyboard or Command D, or go to select and hit the select option, And I'll do the same thing for this layer. I'll do the same thing for this layer. So edit, and I'll push this in for this point, and I'll hit Ctrl D. First hit enter and then hit Ctrl D. That's a shortcut for this. Alright, so I'm gonna select the moderate layer and hit eraser tool, which this is it here. The shortcut is letter E, and I'll just brush the side. Whoops, sorry, the size of my brush is, the type of brush I'm using is too hard, so I need to change it to a soft brush. So I'll come here and choose this. Alright, that's a soft brush right there. Take out this, and this. Okay, so I'll increase the size of the brush a bit. Okay, so increase it a bit and I'll drag. Okay, so I need to push this up a bit. Push it up a bit. Push it up a bit. Okay, it's fine. All right, so we need to merge the two layers. So I'll shift select the two layers now, and I'll go to layer and say merge layers, and then the shortcut is in front of it. So I need to use my close time to blend this grass here with the one on the O of his layer. So to do that, I'm going to make use of my clone stamp, and I'll sample apart from the matrix background, and I'm gonna okay, so I think I'm fine with this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is start for me to bring in my other file. So I'll go to the exercise file on my system, and I'll drag and drop this in here, and I'll scale it. I need to scale it real big. Scale it. Okay, good. All right, so I need to add layer mask on this layer. So to do that, I'll click on this icon, and I'll go to gradient 2. Make sure this is set to black and white the way I have it here, and you're selecting this this box, this white box here, and I'll draw a line from bottom to top. All right, this way. Now I'm on the radial option, so I don't want that, so I'll change this back to this. Click on this icon, and I'll do it again. Good. So I am going to select, I'm going to make use of my move tool, and I'll move this down to about this level here. Okay, so I'm going to make use of my brush tool to brush some part of that layer. So I'm going to hit B on my keyboard and make sure this is set to black, and you're using a soft brush like the way I have it here. So I'll raise the size of my brush with my square bracket, still on this white box. So I'm going to box it. I actually want some part of the Mudge's leg to be more visible with Wobby's leg. All right, but I don't want the background to be visible. Okay. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of these two layers, that is Wobby and Modric. So I'll drag this on the new layer icon, and I'm going to merge it. I'm pressing Ctrl E on my keyboard, or Command E for Mac users. All right, so I'm going to go to image adjustment, and I'll choose desaturate. All right, and the next thing I'll do now is I'll go to filter again, and I'll select other, and I'll choose high pass. All right, now make this this size okay, and I'll say okay. Then I'm going to change my blend mode to vivid light. Beautiful. So what I did is actually I want the burn effects. I want burn effect to occur on their faces. So I want the burn and dodge effect to be more stronger. So that's the reason why I did what I just did now. Okay, so I am going to so what's the next thing we're doing? Okay, so I'm gonna go to my gradient adjustment layer, and I'm gonna start with Obi, which is the Nigerian side. So I'll change this to grain, the lighter part of grain. Oh no, the darker part of grain. That's right. This grain. This grain. And I'll hit OK. So come here, double click on this, and make this the lighter part of grain. Yeah. Good. So I'll say OK, and I'm going to go to my gradient. I'm going to go to gradient tool. I'm using my gradient tool now, and I'll make sure you're on the right box again. So I'm drawing a line from left to right this way. No, it should be from right to left. No, it should be right to left. So I'm gonna hide this so I can see what I'm doing clearly. So right to left, just too small. Still too small. So I'll start from here. Nice. All right, nice. So I'm gonna use the brush to add more portion of the green to this layer. So still on this box, and this is set to black, and make it more bigger. No, set should be white. Should be the opposite color. So I'll hit Command Z or Control Z for Windows users to go back. Still made the same mistake again. I need to switch this to white, so I'm going to add more black again. Getting too much. I actually don't want it to touch Modric's hand. I don't want that color to touch Modric's hand. Okay, so I need to now add this. I need to make this more visible. So to do that, I'll open the layer, and I'll select Orbis layer with Control held down, and see where I'm going to make my click, where the thumbnail of my layer, where I have the thumbnail of my layer. So I'm going to hold on Control. I'm holding on Control now. For Mac users, to say Command. So I'll click on this now, and I'll go to the white box again, and I'll hit Alt Backspace. All right, now my layer is visible. So, but now I don't want the green to be I don't want the image to be this visible. So I'm going to hit Ctrl D on my keyboard, or Command D, and I'll make use of the brush tool. Reduce the size of the brush, still on this layer, and still on the white box. And then I'm going to brush. Make sure this is set to white. Okay, so go to brush now. I'll brush this part of the body, this part of the leg. All right, brush it. Brush the ball a bit, and to change this to white. So reduce that because I over apply it. So I'll change this to white, and sorry, it should be black. Okay, nice. So one other thing I'm going to do again is to apply hue, and I'll choose colorize, and I'm going to alt drag this. All right, I'm going to alt drag this. I'll make a copy of this to apply to this. So alt or option. So I'll hold on alt now, and I'll release. All right, and alt click and drag. So I am going to say yes. So it's going to replace it now, but I don't want this. I want the whole color to fill the layer. So what I'll do is I'm going to make use of my brush tool and brush this part of the picture of the image. So I'm going to do that. Wash. So I need to change this to white. I keep forgetting. Change this to white. white, and I brush. Okay, brush until I get the part where I'm okay with. All right, so I'm done. I'm okay with this. Then I'm going to change this to grain. So I double click on this icon to bring out this adjustment, and I'll move this to the grain part this way. I want it to be more greenish this way. Nice. And I'll reduce the opacity a bit because it's kind of too much on my image. Yes, I think I'm fine with this. Yes, I'm cool with this. All right, so let's do the same thing for Modric. All right, so for the Modric part, I'm going to go to my adjustment layer panel again and click on the gradient adjustment, and I'm going to use red, a darker red here, and a lighter red here. I believe it's making sense now, guys. Yeah, somebody's nodding his head. I can't see you, but I know you're really nodding your head. All right, so I'm going to move this here. Let's try this here. No, that's not the type of red I'm looking for. Should be this type of red. No, still not it. There's a particular kind of red I'm looking for. I think this is it. Yes. Yes. And this should be all right. Now, so I'll say okay. All right. So so I'm gonna select the gradient tool, still on the white box. So I'm doing this from left to right. So I'll drag this way. Right to left. So push it this way. Nice. All right, so I'll push this up. I'll use my brush tool. I'll use the brush tool, and then I'll make sure this is set to black. That's too much. So it's too much. So this size on my brush. Okay. All right. So let's bring out Modric from the background, from the gradient background. So to do that, I'm on the Modric layer here. So I'll hold on Control again, and I'll click to create a marquee around that layer. And I am going to hit Alt backspace on that layer again. And I'm going to hit Ctrl D or Command D on my keyboard, or go to select and say deselect. And I am going to go select the brush tool. The brush tool, soft. Make sure you're on the wrong. You're on soft round brush, and it's the size of your brush. So brush again on that layer. Now make sure this is set to white, and I'll brush. Oops, that's too much. Brush. Reduce the size of the brush. I'm going to go back, because I think the strength of the brush is too harsh on him. Okay, so I think I'm fine now. Sorry, I made a mistake. I overhit the Ctrl Z on my keyboard, so I'll make this appear again, and then I'll brush. Okay. All right. So the next thing is to apply the hue again, and choose colorize, and I'll alt and drag again like I did. Stop showing me this. All right. So I need to select my brush tool again, or the brush tool. Increase the size. I'm increasing the size with the square bracket on my keyboard, and I start brushing. Okay, like this. Oh, and double click here or click on it to bring out the adjustment wheels. So I'll move this to, okay, it's already on red, so let's change the strength of the red to something. I'll move this a bit. No, this to something around here. Yes, so I'll reduce the strength of the opacity a little bit. This way. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is so I'm going to create a new layer by holding on Alt or Option and then click on the new layer icon this way. So I'll call this green. Now hit enter. So I'll come here and sample a color from here, make this brighter, and I'll hit Alt backspace. Now this time I'll hit screen on my keyboard, and I'll add a layer mask or a vector mask, and I'll replace this with this by holding on Alt, and I'll drag and drop on the white box, and I'm going to reduce the strength of the opacity a little bit to about this option right here. I'm going to make it 38, and I'll do the same thing for the other part of my artwork, which is the moderate part, and I'm going to select this guy here and sample a color, and I'll scroll up, create a new layer, Alt or Option, and click on this icon down here and call this pink. So I'll hit Alt or Option backspace to fill that layer, and I'll say screen again, and I'll replace this with this, like this. So I'll reduce the opacity again. Alright, so let's start applying our let me make this 38. Let's start applying the grunge effect, the grunge images. So I'll start with this, and I'll increase the size. I'm going to increase the size. So I'll push this up till I get to this part where I have this grunge stuff right here. So I'll release it by hitting enter, and I'll hit soft light blend mode. So I'm going to add a layer mask again and go to brush, increase the size of the brush, and I'll start brushing. I actually like the effect on this part of the image, so I'm not going to really get to that set that much. Okay. Alright, so I am going to bring my second grunge image again, which is this, and I'll increase the size of this to about this size. Yes. Okay, so sorry, and I'll say soft light again. Now for this one, I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit because it's kind of too strong. Yes, so I'll add layer mask to this again, then go to brush and then start brushing. Actually don't want it to affect the face of my players. I'm a player. Can't believe I'm singing. Alright, so okay, so this is good. So I'm gonna go to adjustment layer again and go to curve, and I'll push this down. Yeah, I'll push it down to this point, and still on the brush tool again, and I'll brush. reduce the size of the brush a bit. The brush. So the brush again, brush it, brush it, brush it, brush it. No. So just touch this part gently. I need to reduce the strength of this here. So reduce the strength to kind of too much. Yes. So. Okay. All right. So all right. I'm going to increase the strength of the color of the artwork by going to the hue, and then just increase this by just move the saturation a little bit up. I just want it to look more rich. I think it's too much or more rich. I think the moderate hue is too much, so I'm going to reduce it a bit. I'm going to do, yeah. Yes. So fine with this. Okay. I think this is it. So let's start bringing in our contents. So let's start typing our texts. Or okay, before we do that, let me quickly do something. I'm going to hit Command Shift Option or Control Shift Option for Windows users and hit E on my keyboard. Now I want this I want the burn effect on the layers to be more stronger. So now I've done that, and I'll call this on sharp. Okay, and I'll go to filter, sharp, on sharp mask. Yeah. So I'll increase this. Can you see the effect on the image? Man, I'm loving this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm really loving this. Alright, so I'm fine with this. Okay, let's start adding our text this time, and I'm not going back. I promise I ain't going back. I'm not going back. So I'll type my text right here. So I'll type watch. Okay. And I'm going to select texts, and I'll use Bebas. Sorry, Bebas. Should be Bebas. What's wrong with my text? My character parts. So I'll use BE, Bay. Yeah. So I'll change the color to white. Okay. So this here. I'll make a copy. And I'm gonna fast forward the video because okay, so there's one other thing I need to add before we start applying other effect to the information we just added. So I'm going to hide these layers, hide them, so that we'll be able to see the other information that we want to add. Okay, so what we're adding is the logos. So I'm going to drag and drop um, the Nigerian logo first. All right, so I'm going to reduce the size of the logo. I'm holding on Shift and Option together. Sorry, that's a mistake. Okay, so I'm going to push this up. Push this here. It's kind of big, so I'll reduce it a bit. So I'll reduce it a bit more. Okay, so I'll hit enter. Then I'm going to change this to multiply and change the opacity to 38. Okay, well, let's make it 26. Yeah. Then I'll go to the layer where I have Wobby's cropped picture, which is this here. I'll hold on Alt and click, and I'll scroll back up and hold on Alt and add layer mask this way. I'm holding on Alt or Option, so I'll click, and I have Wobby's. Sorry, I'm doing it on the wrong layer. I'm doing it on the wrong layer. It should be on this layer. It should be on this layer. Okay, so I'll scroll down again. Alright, so hold on Alt and click. I mean Control and click, not Alt, to create the marquee selection around my layer or my objects, and I'm going to hold on Alt or Option and click on the Add Vector Layer Mask. So I have the player's shape cropped from the cut out from the body of the logo. So I'm going to do the same thing for Modric. So first I need to drag my logo in this way. So I have the logo in, and I'm going to scale it. So I'm just going to scale it by this way. Okay, so I'll show this here. Scale it down again, and I'll hit enter. Now for Modric, I don't need to use the multiply bend mode. What I'll just do is to reduce the opacity. That's just what I'll do. Alright, and I'm going to scroll down and look for Modric again, and hold on Alt and click. I mean Control and click, not Alt. It should be Control to create the marquee selection around the layer, around the object of the layer. So I'll hold on Alt and Option now to add vector mask on the layer. So this is what I've been trying to achieve. And let's make our text layer visible. And I'll push this up just to be visible also. Okay, so let's add gradient overlay to the layer. So I'll click on the effects icon down here, and I'll choose gradient overlay. So I have my gradient overlay on my screen, and Photoshop already applied it for me. So, but for you to see the color I use, so what you just do is just look at this here. I have V7 for my first color, and my second color is F. That's for white, and for white. So I'll hit OK, and I'll hit OK here and say OK. Now, what I'm going to do now is to duplicate this effect and then apply it to the other layers. So to do that, I'll hold down Alt or Option and I'll drag and release. I'll hold on Alt again, drag and release, and Alt again, drag and release, and for the last one, Alt again, drag and release. Okay, so I'm gonna put everything. I'm gonna collapse it so as to. Oh, better still, let me just drag it up so we can see my layer panel clearly. So I'm gonna collapse everything this way and hold down Shift, and I'll put everything in the folder, and I'll target details. Details. All right, and so I'll bring out my transform adjustment handles by hitting Ctrl T on my keyboard, and I'll right click and select skew, and I'm going to push this way. So I'll position this here this way. Now I don't want my details layer to be on top of my players. So to take that out, I'm going to hold down Control and then select the layer where we have the 2 players. So I'm going to call this 2 players. All right, down here, and I'll hold down Control and I'll select. I'll click on the thumbnail to create my quick selection around the players. So I'll go to the folder where I have the details, and I'll hold down Alt and click. Bam. So this is what I've been trying to do. Okay, so guys, I think this is where I'm going to say full stop to this tutorial, and please remember to hit the subscribe button, and I wish you happy design, and I'll see you next in my other tutorials. Bye. Have fun.